So this is my new to me 1993 F700 dump truck. We picked it up on a previous video. We'll give you the quick tour. Main reason we got her is she's just pretty clean for the age. Frame looks solid, bed solid. I mean, it's a little rusty, some surface rust, but nothing's rusted through. Actual skin looking sharp. Making sure we're getting the battery watered, that way she can grow. The interior and the cab, not in bad shape. Actually looks pretty decent in here. Some transmission fluid. That's telling us a little something. Tape measure at 6 inches. Probably don't want to know that story. It's got an electric dump, twin cylinder. Tires aren't bad. Not even dry rot. Pretty decent tread left on the steer. Hood leaves a little bit to be desired, but we're not too worried about that at this point in time. Nice toolbox. Look at that. Not even rusted out. Some surface rust again, but solid other than that. Rear tires looking good. A little dry rot, but not terrible. And still some pretty decent tread left. Everything looks solid. That's probably the biggest cosmetic thing, metal-wise, on this truck, is that step. But aside from that, I mean, look, even through here, we're not bad. You can see there's a little rust down in there, but cab's in pretty decent shape. Found the light switch. How handy. So yesterday, Dirt Perfect was nice enough to help me get this thing crammed in the shed so we can try to get it up and running today in the dry. Here's the story on this rig. It's the classic Ranwin Park. Now, they seem like some pretty nice folks, and I don't have any reason to believe that they would be lying to me about that. They said they used to run this rig for firewood, and then they bought a bigger truck, which has a diesel in it, and then they parked this one and kept it as a backup, but never needed it. We're gonna find out if that's true. Let's take a peek under here. The hood is together just enough to open. Well, that's good. Come here. Come here. Yeah. So here's what we've got on the inside. She is a gasser. I have not looked up any actual engine tags yet, but based on the specs online for 93, it should be a Ford 429. It is not carbureted. It's got some kind of fuel injection going on, and I don't know how to problem solve that at all. But I did give her a once over and just see if there's anything like any mouse wires torn in half. I don't see a lot of homemade wiring repairs in there, so that's encouraging. Looks like they got the old AC delete kit on here. It's got a little bit of a unique braking system. We'll talk about that here in a second. But first things first, let's see what the fluid situation looks like. Oh, she's a longin'. She's a longin'. Well, it's got oil on it. She looks pretty clean. That's a 2017 Galveston. We're missing this covering contraption. Filter's clean though. This is a dangerous game here. Nothing's attacking me, and I don't feel any nests of any kind. Transmission, I'm assuming. Just curious if there's even anything on here. There is. Fluid looks really clean on that too. Of course, if they got bottles on the floor, they're probably adding on a regular basis, so it should look clean. Huh? I did just notice there's no caps on the brakes over there. Also nothing in there. Something we're gonna have to work on. I almost forgot the disclaimer. Not a mechanic, just a guy trying his best. We just kind of fumble our way through everything here. Feel free to enjoy the journey. So we're missing something here. That's clogged up with mud dauber. As is that. Something's missing here, and I bet it has something to do with the coolant reservoir that I cannot locate. We're not missing it. It's just in the back. Okay, you balance there precariously. Well, this was laying in the bed. So it just sits on there, bolts into that bracket. That would go there. This line here would connect to that. Then we got the little overflow coming off the neck. And I'm guessing this was the problem, which is why they took it out. That's probably supposed to go there, but that's broken off there. This is the battery off of my Super Duty. All right, do we have enough life, enough battery to That buzzer is because of that. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Went and got the voltage meter real quick. Oh, 12.4. It's not crazy low. Let's beat on the starter a little bit.
It's just a little bitty fella.
Rough guesses, either the starter's locked up, I don't have enough juice in my battery, or the engine's locked. One of those three is where I'm at right now. Trying to see if I can find a spot to get a wrench or a socket down in there and just try to turn it. I'm gonna try to take that fan off real quick, and then we can have some access, and I can probably get a socket onto the balancer down there. I don't know if I can actually pull this fan out without removing something else, but I can at least slide it forward and let it drop a little bit. Should give me enough clearance to get a socket. Well, she might. Hold on. No, there's no way. Oh, look at that. One fan. I had a couple guesses. Said 3/4, 15/16, 7/8. That's 7/8. This is 15/16. It is significantly bigger than all of those. Okay. Something's moving, but it's not the engine, and I don't like that at all. So I went and snagged a big old pipe wrench from Dirt Perfect shop. I was worried about breaking that bolt. The torque spec on that bolt is only like 90 pounds, and we were definitely pulling harder than that. So now I'm just on the pulley. That might be a hole in the radiator. One problem at a time though. No way I'll regret this maneuver. There we go. It's on there a little better. Of course not, I'm Come on. It's good, it's good. Can't tell if that's movement or I'm slipping, but something's going. Oh, that's movement. Oh, she's spinning a little. Oh, God. Every time. Oh, yeah. That's movement. That's exciting. Let's put the regular wrench back on and see what we got. Look at that. Oh, buddy, buddy, buddy. Okay, let's get real courageous here. Throw the old ratcheting wrench on. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Well, let's give her some bumps on the battery. Let's see if it's enough to spin now. Oh. Oh. I think at this point we're to just a low battery. I'm encouraged enough with the movement. I'm just gonna go ahead and go pick up a new battery. We're gonna need one anyway if this thing's gonna run, so we'll get the battery for the actual truck that we got. But I also want to replace the plugs before we try to fire this thing up for good. So that being said, let's go ahead and at least pull one plug we can take with us to make sure we bring the correct ones back. Man, honestly, those plugs don't look bad. All right, so we just got back from town. We got a battery for it, but we also got some other goodies and some things we're gonna take care of real quick. You're gonna see a fine specimen in the background cleaning out the dozer there. Let's see if that battery makes her a little spicier for us. Oh, well, she tried to start, so I'd say we're okay on that. But before we get this thing up and running, just because it was locked up and we got the piston sliding, but that doesn't mean the rings are free yet. We're gonna put a little Marvel mystery oil down into each cylinder and let her soak some. Just gonna try to take a funnel and get that started. I gotta come up with a different plan. This is not cutting it. New plan. We've got an old gear oil jug that I put the Marvel's mystery fluid in with a hose. Now I can feed that hose right into the spark hole. I don't know if spark hole is the proper terminology, but that's what we're doing. And we'll just go down and do that to each one of them. Well, that's not ideal. Not ideal. So we've got those 4 finished and those 4 finished. So all 8 cylinders are soaking. Just trying to give those rings the best chance that we can. So it has been 2 days since we've been down there. They've been soaking for that long. We're gonna button this battery back on real quick. You can buy a parts hood for these. They're like $1,500, where a fella could spend some time with some fiberglass and some metal and probably make it work. I mean, I think I'd go for that option before I spent $1,500 on a hood for a rig like this. We did get some parts picked up. We got some coolant, some zip ties, all the crucial things to make this work for us. So with those cylinders soaking, I'm gonna take those plugs back out that we just kind of have finger tight. And then we're just gonna take and turn the key and run this a few times and let that blow any excess stuff out those spark plug holes. The new spark plugs, new wires. Get the fan put back on. We got some work to do up top here. Let's see if she still spins on her own now with the battery on there. That's probably good enough. She spins good and easy, I'll tell you that. We'll do a few more rotations. All right, we've got new plugs. The guy at the shop said the boxes look a little rough, but I did check the gap for you, so should be good. Auto Lights 5285s. Am I making that up? 5285s. Let's get these put in. Just since we ruined that one, and it's relatively inexpensive, we're gonna put some new plug wires as well. Time-consuming process. Do we have 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is gonna be my technique so we don't get anything out of sorts and out of order. We're just gonna do one at a time. I'm gonna trace it back, pull it off, come over here. It's like a heat shield, heat protecting. That is highly recommended according to the instructions. I got a little bit of loom on there. And the loom. And then we're going to put it back on, one at a time. Now obviously since I broke that one wire, I definitely need to replace that, and I figure if we're replacing one, it just makes sense, and probably should replace all of them at the same time, but like I said, not a mechanic, so I don't know for sure. I also know when I bought this, the guy said it could use a tune-up. Not sure. I'm 100% confident in the way that he said tune-up, and tune-up can really vary on what people mean. You know, you just never know what people mean by that. But spark plugs and wires, that's a pretty good start on a tune-up, and then we can kind of go from there and see how she fires up, if she fires up when we get to that point. So we got all 8 plugs and 8 wires replaced. Nothing zip tied yet, we're just hanging out. Let's make sure, you know what I mean? We're gonna go ahead, let's get the fan slid back in there because we don't need access to the front since we're free now. Somehow I'm confident that some sort of dimension changed and now this won't fit the way it came out. But okay. Come on. There's no other option. What other hole could it be? It's the only hole. Get in the hole. Get in there. Okay, somebody hand me the wrench. Oh, we lost it all. Get lined up. Are these not the right screws? It's the only thing I took out. You don't think that Adler pulley has to line up with, you don't think that's a thing, dude? Surely. Is that real life? Does that have to? Critical error. Pulley attaches to the water pump. I think those are 2 different things. Just pull the fan back out. It's not that bad. get our room back. Let's put our ratchet on it and let's turn it and see if we can get our bolt holes lined up the way we need. So I had one of those fancy, clever moments where I just put a vice grip on the pump. Sure to mar that up a little bit, but not bad enough to keep the fan from going on. And then I can just turn the pump. That makes more sense. And then hopefully, somewhere in here, the hole shows up. There we go. Give her some wiggles, make sure we're lined up nice. Oh yeah. Okay. Now we can get her going. Oh yeah. There's one started. Okay, we'll just pick that up. That's fine. We'll get the other 3 in. Move on to the next step. So the next thing we're gonna put in, I picked up a new coolant reservoir. This is a missing piece of the puzzle for sure. I've got the old coolant reservoir as well, and we're gonna save that for parts. These are a little pricey, but I'm okay with it. The guy was originally asking $4,000 for this truck, and we took it home for $2,000. At the moment, I don't have these bolts that hold it. We're gonna do the right thing and just throw some zip ties on there for now. I think we all know that there's a pretty good chance this is the permanent solution. Put a good sharp angle on these. And then there's a hole right here. It's like a little plug hole. They just had this bolt in theirs. So we're just gonna do the same thing in this one. Some Teflon tape or something probably wouldn't be the worst thing to put on there, but for today's purposes. I got some 50-50, we're just gonna dump that in there. Yeah, it's already seeping out around that plug down there. That is okay. And somewhere else. Oh gosh. All right. Neat, huh? You know, and that's all part, it just flushes everything out for us. Looks like there's a rubber boot there that is torn. And that's possibly from the loading process. So it's just this rubber here. Fill to the bottom of rings. What rings? I also don't have the caps, and neither did the auto parts store. I had to order some. Maybe some zip ties and plastic for the time being. I don't know what kind of pressure we're talking about, but surely some doubled up cling wrap with a zip tie. Do the trick. Listen, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying I think I could get us home. You know, and if we get lost, we can just follow the trail of fluids to where we started. Even used OEM blue Ford plastic. I know, you don't get that fancy of a job on everything. This truck is pretty fortunate to have found us. So we caged the brakes to help get it onto the trailer. This bolt, that bolt right there. And I know it's pretty optimistic of me, but I gotta drag this thing out of here either way. I told Mike I'd get his shed back to him. If we drag this thing back out and it doesn't fire up, then we'll have to cage him again. Not that big of a deal. But I wanna see, these are Lucas Girling brakes. I've done some research. They're definitely different, but it seems like not necessarily a bad brake, just a little bit different. But the way this works, kind of like on air brakes where if you lose air pressure, the brakes automatically lock up. That's the way this canister works on the back. If we lose hydraulic pressure on the brake system, these will automatically engage the brake. So I want to see if our little electric boost up there, and the way we got this set up, if we can actually get the brakes, oh, watch your head, bud. Actually get the brakes to release or not. Just out of a curiosity, what's working, what's not thing. Lots more than that. And it's got this just like an air brake style thing. So we should be able to build enough pressure, disengage those brakes, and then if it loses it, automatically. I don't know what we got going on here. I got some guesses. So the fuel tank is actually empty, which is kind of nice. So we're just gonna run some, I've got some ethanol-free gas from over at the gas station. They sell it there. We're gonna put a few gallons of that in just to see if we can get going or not. All right, let's first just turn the key on and then see what these brakes do. I think I can hear the pump working. Sure sounds like it. All right, let's see what happens with the engine. She wants something there. She wants something. I'm not saying it's anything good, but she wants something. Remember, there's stuff on top of them cylinders. We poured it in there. Sounds like it's missing. I wouldn't be surprised. See if she goes backwards, so if she catches on fire, it's not in Mike's shop. You know what I mean? Oh, that's drive. Have I got brakes? Kinda. Kinda. A backup alarm is not. Then we'll fill you in a future video. Backup alarm is wild though. We got a little bit of an issue here. That's okay. I think a fuel filter and run some gas. Yeah, I'm not saying it's good, but I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm pretty sure that's just all the oil we blew out from the Marvel's mystery oil, and we blew that out the side of the engine because it's just coming up off the exhaust manifold. Guys, will find out in the next video though. That's all I got time for. We got other things to do on this. Grab this sweet camera, but I got other things to do too. It's a pretty hectic week. It's an encouraging start.